Ben Carson says, well, slavery really wasn't anything to be ashamed of. Not a big deal. All right, let's put it in context. Here it is.
And interestingly enough, you look back to the beginnings of this country and our founders, a lot of people are trying to denigrate them now, saying that they were horrible people, maybe because some of them had slaves, and that America is a horrible place because we had slavery. People who say stuff like that obviously don't have a good grasp on world history, because every society has had to deal with slavery. And there are more slaves in the world today than there have ever been at any point in time. You look at human trafficking and sexual slavery, and we ought to be concerned about what's going on now, not what happened 200 years ago. And if there's anything unique about the United States, if there's anything unique about the United States and slavery, it's that we had so many people who were vehemently opposed to it that we fought a bloody civil war to get rid of the evil institution. And that's what we should teach our children. Our history is nothing to be ashamed of. There's good, there's bad, and there's ugly, as there is in every society inhabited by human beings, which is why we need a savior.
And that savior for Ben Carson is Master Donald Trump. He was campaigning for Trump while explaining to white people how, racist white people in particular, that it's okay. That there are some black people who agree that slavery was not a big deal. Ben Carson is among them. Put up the picture, full mass. This is insane. First, let me highlight the reality of the enslaved African in America. While the terminology slavery has been utilized and, in my opinion, overutilized, and somehow it has created this generalization of the great evil known as slavery, let's be 100 about what it actually was. It was, in fact, human sex trafficking. It was, in fact, rape and child molestation. It was, in fact, murder, kidnapping, and extreme brutality. All of these things are contextualized under the umbrella of what they call slavery. Who would ever say that child molestation, human trafficking, and murder is, in fact, not that bad? Who? As I said before, Republicans utilize black conservatives like Ben Carson to say things that white conservatives could never say in public. Imagine a white conservative saying what Ben Carson has just said. Okay? Doesn't hit the same, right? So they use a person like Ben Carson as a proxy. Ben Carson was a famed surgeon, one of the best in the 1980s, according to the narrative. Did things, broke records, was able to perform in ways that no other surgeon could. When he got appointed to a cabinet position by then President Trump, what is he appointed over? HUD. Yeah, as if he's experienced in housing and urban development. But the connection is urban. Ben Carson, black. We'll let him run it. Let's get it. During an event in Iowa, Carson downplayed the significance of slavery in American history, emphasizing that various societies throughout history have grappled with the issue. Quote, you look back at the beginnings of this country and our founders, a lot of people are trying to denigrate them now, saying that they were horrible people, maybe because some of them raped children, murdered people, engaged in human sex trafficking, had slaves, and that America is a horrible place because we had slavery, Carson said. People who say stuff like that, he says, obviously don't have a good grasp of world history, because every society has had to deal with slavery. And there are more slaves in the world today than there have ever been at any point in time, he added, before using human trafficking and sexual slavery as examples. Think about the argument he's posing. What if he would have said just murder? Let's just take another evil like murder. What if his contextualization was about how murder is not that big a deal in how this country was founded? You know, they had to murder natives.